I suppose the one thing I have come to realize working with you guys is that, we are getting a lot more quality coming through than having used it at other agencies to try and do something similar in the past. The campaign is steady. There's a constant flow of people coming through, and its value and its worth for me. So I'm happy to continue using it, as I said, and hence why we signed up for another 12 months. Since you guys have come on board, we've probably nearing 200k commission. I suppose the one thing I always say to them is, you've got to try it. Don't knock it on the head. Don't think it's just another appointment setter or another lead generating organization. One other thing is, I think with anything you do in life, it's not going to work for everyone. But if you don't try, you don't know.
I guess firstly, Calvin, could you summarize your ongoing experience with Icon Media Co. since your last video interview that you did with Maurice?
Yeah, well, I suppose the one thing I have come to realize working with you guys is that, we are getting a lot more quality coming through than having used it at other agencies to try and do something similar in the past. The campaign is steady. There's a constant flow of people coming through. And last time I looked at the campaign, it's been about 18 or 19,000 people, seen that campaign. And, we've probably grown our database from when we started not quite a year ago, from about 146, I think, people in our database to well over 1,000 now. Sort of lost track how many we've got, but yeah, it'd be way over 1,000. So yeah, it definitely proves itself. It definitely still pays for itself. And obviously there's still, profit, if you want to call it, that comes to my bank afterwards. So it's not a break-even situation. It's proven its value and its worth for me. So I'm happy to continue using it, as I said, and hence why we signed up for another 12 months. And probably get a call every week or two from somebody you guys have spoken to, and some of them obviously they're going to call me. Others have said, hey, listen, they've sort of tracked me down and decided to give me a call, off the record. So I have people call me all the time, and we say the same thing to them. I suppose if you ask me what my principal message is to anybody who calls is, you've got to give it a go. It works, but I think you've got to understand your market too. I think if you've got a monopoly in a market or something like that already, you're not going to necessarily have this massive influx of business. You still get them trickling through. It's something that's, I suppose, complementary to what you need to do yourself as an agent.
And I think you hit a couple of key points there, Calvin. I think setting expectations as well with the system and how it works, it is something you have to nurture, those leads coming through, and obviously has a variation on area to area. So that's our job to ensure the campaigns are optimized and tailored to your area so you can get the most out of it. You're right, kind of a balance there of nurturing them, takes some time, but as you develop it, it happens. Yeah.
One of my earliest conversations with Maurice was somebody mimicked the campaign, and I thought that maybe you guys were running with multiple agencies in the area doing the same thing, and it wasn't that, but somebody had decided to copy it, and that never lasted. It was on for a few days really, and then disappeared. I think it's a case of anybody who's got any sort of idea how to work with social media could probably set up these campaigns, but that's just this, I suppose, part of it. There's a bigger picture stuff that happens behind the scenes that have proven you guys to be successful, whereas those ones that have decided to, I suppose, follow the lead that we've set in our local area, they haven't lasted. They obviously haven't had the same traction and response, hence they've dumped their campaigns.
Yeah, and that's right. I mean, a lot of the campaigns, the creative we use, the campaigns that we do, are tried and proven. They do tend to work, and we sometimes do see that replication out there in the market. So it's good to see that the success is filtering through.
Yeah.
How does Icon Media positions itself as a business partner with your own day-to-day operations?
Oh, yeah. To be honest, it's probably what has happened is you guys have become an integral part of it. It's one of those sorts of things, you wake up in the morning and you turn your computer on. It's the first app probably open every day, and probably the last app I look at every night when I go to sleep, because obviously it's on your devices. So whether it be your laptop, your iPad, or your phone, or whatever it is, it's constantly you getting, and I've got that same characteristic little tune that comes through, and every time, so I know, that's an Icon lead. And it'd be quite good too, because sometimes, you'll be with a client or something like that, and your phone will give it ding, and do you want to get there? It's like, no, that's another lead coming in, so you can actually Yeah, sometimes you can let them know how busy you are and how good it is, because sometimes you can have 3, 4, 5 in a row that will come through. And yeah, I think it's a bit of a value. I mean, I don't tend to answer phones when I'm at business at prospective clients' homes and that sort of stuff, but the messages, just a ding will come through, and yeah, so it's a good.
Keeps you on your toes and interactive and aware of what's going on with the leads coming through. So
That's right. Yeah.
let's discuss some numbers for a moment. Can you tell us how many listings that you've successfully had through Icon Media Co, and what does that look like in terms of commission for you?
Well, this is the one that Maurice always asks me to, and I'm not very good at doing, but I reckon since you guys have come on board, we've probably nearing 200K commission. That's, I suppose, directly or indirectly related to, as I said, a lot of the leads that you sort of convert to appraisals will sometimes result in, another referral or somebody else
Yeah.
contacting you. So if you sort of look back at it and you sort of say, well, where did I start and what have I achieved out of it? It's probably been, a fair percentage of what I do comes directly from you guys.
And you mentioned that once before about you've had some success off the back of the listings coming through the system have also produced localized leads as well.
That's
Leads as
right.
well.
Yeah. One of the listings we've got at the moment, you would know that guy. I won't mention the name for the purposes of this recording or the address. So we've got the one in taken by a guy called Mark, and you said to me the other day, this looks like a hot lead. We've been talking to that guy for several months, and it was a hot lead, and we've now got that listing. And the sort of feedback you get from that customer, is like, you're seeing a lot of properties in that specific estate. That's why we decided we're going to dump our agent and go with you, because you're building a reputation. So whatever sort of you guys start with, obviously we've got our part to try and but get the conversion done, and obviously build our reputation on the interactions we're having with customers. But it goes back to the good old sort of saying, like at work health and safety, everybody's responsible up and down. Well, same with this, everybody's got a responsibility to make sure that it's followed through in every direction, because if you don't nurture what you've got, I think it's pretty obvious in this industry that you're soon forgotten. You can't just rely on word of mouth. And there are agents out there, because they're obviously very established brands and things like that. But people like me that are, about to hit their first year in business, you've got to constantly work on your business in all angles.
100%, and have those, fresh leads or relationships coming through consistently, selling those property, you do the cycle, sell, buy, sell sort of thing.
Yeah,
so
exactly right.
Important. And Calvin, the appointment setter solution, as you're aware, designed to generate in-person appraisals for agents, and the appointment setter specialist takes that off your hands. You've had this service for 2 months now. How have you experienced?
It's been call it a big pressure release valve. Obviously it's put pressure in other areas because, first of all, to release, because you're not following up on those leads yourself. Then it puts pressure on because obviously you guys are getting success out of it. So we're getting our foot in more doors. So the pressure we get in return is healthy pressure, not necessarily chasing dead ends. That's probably what I like the most about it is, I can sit on the phone for 2-3 hours a day doing what you guys are doing, but then I'm not necessarily in customers' homes, or I'm not there when they necessarily want me, because spending it the first 2 or 3 hours every day making phone calls, instead I can be out in the field doing stuff and actually talking to people.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that's one of the other elements of it that's a benefit is freeing up your time to focus on other areas of the business. Definitely. Yeah. And obviously, on top of the appointment setter, we can run some additional campaigns on localized leads that we can source for you. We did that for you a couple of weeks ago.
I think it would have been over 30 responses from that, and opportunities to get into people's doors. I'm talking about actual booked appointments. Sure, a few have fallen off for various reasons that people have not been able to accommodate us. I went to one day before yesterday, was booked in, knocked on the door, and the guy hasn't answered. So I've rung him. He said, "Mate, sorry." He says, "I've ended up in the hospital." So there's things drop off. But out of that 30 odd, we've probably, I don't know, maybe 5 have fallen off for various reasons. Either they've delayed it for another date, or they've had a change of circumstances, such as the guy in hospital, that type of thing. So it's a good strike rate. So definitely you do a campaign and then, book them all in. It takes a lot of pressure off us.
Have you ever experienced numbers like that in literally a week? That many
No,
in-person
no.
appraisals?
I suppose the only time I ever really had such a high demand was when you guys first came on board. Obviously, things were pretty crazy then. We just got absolutely hammered with incoming leads, whereas now it's more, I would consider your day-to-day leads coming in, it's more manageable. It was probably a bit too many to start with when you guys came on board. And I'm not complaining, but it's just the power of what you guys did, running an SMS campaign and all that sort of stuff. Really, you're nurturing customers that are sitting in the background. They're already in my database. The majority of them, yes, we've got others that we've sort of added through, different methodologies that you guys used to get your database grown for me. But yeah, it's definitely campaigns are necessary. I suppose that's the bottom line is, and you've got to do a variety of them. So, it's fine to say we'll put a Facebook campaign to get leads coming, but there's also the campaign of, following up with those leads down the track. So it's all, part of the bigger picture.
100%. And it's a powerful combination, I think, when you introduce someone that specializes, as the appointment says, specializes in calling those leads on your behalf, and accompany that with an SMS campaign to target those buyers, those potential sellers out there that you may not have had some form of connection with, and to be able to have someone just go 110% in with those and book, 20, 30 in-person appraisals in for you on your behalf. It's a powerful combination to be experiencing, that's for sure.
And I think one of the things, anybody who wants to take this up, understand that somebody else is working in your database. You need to obviously make sure you include notes if you're doing something, so that person can see what's happened, because obviously all those calls are coming through as if they're from me, so it's my phone number that they're seeing and that sort of stuff. So, I'll occasionally get a phone call coming to me, and it's like, well, not answering that. I can see you guys are active in the workspace. I'll let it live for a few minutes, and then I realize, Tom's intercepted it. He's answered it. So it's all networked together.
It's collaboration, isn't it? And you've got to work together to produce the best results and utilize a system to produce the best results. I think the other point with the appointment setter is you can tailor it to your agency. So providing the opportunity for agents to say, the type of seller that we deal with are like this. We'd like you to approach them this way. They specialize in tailoring their approach to match your agency and your personality. So
we spoke about this obviously in the early days, and I sort of set the idea in your guys' mind of how I deal with business, and then I sort of, obviously we can hear what everything that Tom says. I just have to jump into one of the calls that is saved in the workflow, and I can hear exactly what he says. And you sent me the scripting the other day, and really it's a lot of mimicry going on. It's like an extension of me. It's not somebody sitting offshore that doesn't understand the local business or anything like that. I can pick up the phone, or I can send a message to any of you guys, and we can actually talk to you and get an idea, and I suppose go on that journey along with you, so you're not sort of just running off on a tangent.
100%. It needs to be, in this scenario, it needs to be quite localized, locally based to kind of tailor that approach effectively for the agents. If there is an agent considering signing up yet to make that decision, what advice would you give them in terms of the appointment setter solution?
Give it a try. Talk to you guys, I think, and give it an opportunity. Obviously, you would have to sort of determine the parameters around it. But, being one of the first cabs off the rank for you guys, I was quite fortunate you gave me the 2 months free. But, give it a crack. Pay for a month's worth and give it a try. Yes, it might cost you more than sort of doing an annualized thing, but if you are apprehensive in any of the stuff that you guys do, you got to back it up. You got to take a punt sometimes in life, and ask the question. Say, I'm uncertain. This is what I have. Can I talk to somebody else? As I said, I have weekly calls almost from others that call me, and probably spend about an hour a week talking to some random at a competitive agency somewhere across the country. I suppose the one thing I always say to them is, you've got to try it. Don't knock it on the head. Don't think it's just another appointment setter or another lead generating organization. It's a little bit more personal than that. So, go out, give it a crack. And if you don't like it, walk away with your head held high that you've at least tried it.
Wise words. Thanks, Calvin.
And probably one other thing is like, you know, I think with anything you do in life, it's not going to work for everyone. But if you don't try, you don't know.
It's a good point there. We can tailor it as best as we can to your agency and your preference, and adapt it accordingly. And as you mentioned, we're always constantly in communication, making sure that everything is in line with how it's performing out there in the market. And if it's not, we adjust accordingly to suit the market.
Yeah.
Well, Calvin, I really appreciate your time today. Always a pleasure. And
no, thanks, Luke. Appreciate it.
Again.
And once again, just, you know, if you're going to convey my thanks to Tom and the rest of the crew there, you know, Sean, and the list goes on, because, you know, it's an organizational response we get from you guys. You may be the primary contact person here, but there's a lot of things that happen behind the scenes. You know, these little glitches in the system or something like that. You can actually get them addressed, and you know, you're not on your own at the end of the day. It's a collaborative thing, both within 100%. Your organization and me being part of that. You know, so yeah, I just want to say, you know, thanks to all the team behind the scenes, because it's been very instrumental in, you know, me getting my business established.
No, we really appreciate those words, Calvin, and it's been a pleasure working with you, and look forward to working with you moving forward. So thank you.
Thanks, buddy.